What is up, YouTube? Welcome back for another video. Today, this video, I want to go over 5 things the Acura does way better than the BMW. So if you guys might have seen my video last week on the BMW that just came in, super happy with it, super stoked to make some videos with that and show you guys what we're gonna do with that. But for now though, I want to go over 5 things this car does way better than the BMW, and some may even surprise you. So let's do it. Let me just give you a quick walk around on it. A few things that have changed since you guys have seen it. This giant dent here. Funny story, I hate spiders. This car, for whatever reason, loves spiders. One day I get into my car at night, feel a spider land on my chest, freak out, flipping around, get out of the car, put the flashlight on. Thing crawls out of the pillar down here, and just instant reaction. I just had to fucking hit it with a little fucking Bruce Lee, and yeah, that's what I did. But we'll look past that. I did MagnaFlow resonator and some bigger tips, so you can see those there. And it sounds a little better. Maybe I'll get you guys at the end of the video a little sound clip of it revving, but nothing too dramatic. I didn't do muffler delete or anything, just the resonator. Mid muffler delete with the resonator replacement. But yeah, still drives like a dream, man. This thing is so nice. What a car. All right, let's go over these 5 things this thing smokes the Beamer at. Sitting inside the cabin, number 1, this guy right here. The transmission on the Acura TSX, by far one of the best transmissions I have ever driven in my life. And I've driven a lot of cars. You guys may not know this, but GT350s, GT500, Mustangs, M3s, M4s, S2000. This shifter on this car itself, by the way, it's just so underrated. No one really knows that much about it. They didn't make many of them, and it's just, for what it is, a 4-door sedan thing is awesome. And I'm gonna give the number 1, you know, its biggest plus, and the reason why I think I like it so much is, again, this transmission. So 3 things go into making this transmission so good. The first one, the slop. There is none. I mean, look at this. You have to put in force for this thing to go left and right. It's just stiff and solid. The throw is short. And it's, listen to it, just listen to it. It sounds like it feels like a lubricated, sounds cliche, you've heard this before, bolt action rifle, but seriously. It just has this throw that's so notchy, so tight, direct. You don't need to worry about what gear you might actually be in. This paired with the shortest clutch take I've ever felt in my life. Okay, the shortest like, look at my feet down here. See if I can get this shot for you. All the way depressed. I'm gonna put in gear. It's moving. The car's moving already. By there. Right there, it's biting. Right there, it's biting. It's just, you barely have to do anything to get this car moving, and it just gives you such confidence when driving that I'm gonna get a little air going for us. Such confidence in driving that you just feel the car, like, it makes the transmission feel tight, and, like, you know, when you're driving, let's say you've ever driven like a Mustang, something aggressive, and the clutch is really heavy, but when you know you can just slam the gears and it's gonna go in gear, it's direct. This car gives you that feeling, but like with some nimbleness to it. This was still being built during the time where Honda was making S2000s and Honda NSXs. So you could feel that. You could actually feel that in the transmission, the gear ratios. When I'm at 80 miles an hour on the highway, the car is at 3.5, 4,000 RPM in 6th gear. So it's just ready to go. And it just feels, you know, race car inspired. So transmission #1 destroys the BMW as far as just driving experience. And if I could take one thing from this car and put in the BMW, 100%, it would be the transmission. So #2, the driving directness of the steering and just how the car changes direction. Again, there in the BMW, there's a little bit on center slop, and in this car, I wish I had a GoPro or something I could show you guys. Just this car, the way it just takes a turn like onto an on-ramp, I can be going dead straight at 60 and just go just like that, and it will literally there's no hesitation. The car just goes. I remember reading an article about Spoon was deciding whether to go with the TSX or the RSX for their time attack. And you would think the RSX, lighter car, shorter wheelbase, but actually driving them back and forth, back to back, this car with its suspension system that they have set up in the front, Acura and Honda put a lot of effort and R&D into designing the front suspension system. And actually this car has a better stability and just better handling throughout the track than the RSX, and so they actually went with the TSX for their track car. So this suspension, front end suspension, is actually a more complicated system than the BMWs, and you could feel it. It just drives, again, that on center steering, just snap it into a corner, and it handles. I mean, this car is like, again, such an underrated car, 4-door sedan. And to me, as of right now, if I were to put both cars back to back, obviously I've had this car for longer and I've driven it longer, I just feel more confident between the steering, direct steering, and how light it makes it feel, and the transmission and how notchy and just engaging it is. Like, I don't have to wait for the clutch to come out. It just feels more agile than the BMW, 100%. You get in the BMW, it just feels more like a Grand Tour, highway, Autobahn car, 100% all day long. So yeah, the directness and the steering in this car, thumbs up all the way. All right, #3. Another thing this car does way better than the BMW standard is these seats. Now my BMW specifically doesn't have the sport bucket seats that you'd get with the sport package. So I'm comparing from these seats to the ones I have now on the regular premium package vehicle, but man, these seats just, not only do they have better comfort, they even hold you better at the same time. And this car is 118,000 miles and they are leather, but still very minor, creasing, and I've tried to keep these, conditioned as best I can, but minimal effort to keep them alive and keep them running strong. They're just such good seats. They're comfortable. They have this giant bolstering, like, just look at this. It comes out so much, And even here, you can kind of see how high this is in comparison to this. Whereas in the BMW, it's almost like sitting on a freaking pancake. Like, it's so flat. This car, you actually sit down into this seat more. So when you're setting up your seating position, you just feel, even though both BMW and this car, the seats don't go low enough for me. I want them to sit even lower to just give you that lower center of gravity. When you are in the seat, your hand position placement between the shift knob, you looking out, so you just have a better, actually you do truly have a better seating position than you have in the BMW. It just feels more driver focused. So they've thought about that as well. So that's #3. Coming back outside brings me to #4, the headlight systems in this car. So projector HID xenons, and they are fantastic. The cutoff on these is, if you guys don't know what the cutoff is, let's say you drove up to like a garage door or something, it would be how the light completely separates from the garage. You come down, all of a sudden you have your lighting from your vehicle. So that's the cutoff. It's the difference between the light and the actual garage and how sharp of a line it can become. These cars, specifically these headlights on these, not even comparing to the BMW specifically that I have that doesn't even have HIDs, on the forums, people are looking for the projectors from these TSXs to retrofit onto the E46s because they're just that good. Okay, so number 5 brings me back into the cabin to go over the AC system. The AC in this car, I don't know what it is, and I know it sounds weird. I'm gonna aim it down so you don't get it in the mic. But the AC in this car, number one of the coldest AC systems. Anytime I have anybody get in my car, it's one of the first things they mention. And down here in Florida, it gets ridiculously hot. Having a nice AC system is like paramount. But number 2, this might sound weird, but the way the air blows at you. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. It just, when the first week I got into this car, I came from my Jetta Sport. And the Jetta Sport has 3 notches on the AC system. It's not like a dual zone, no digital or anything. This was like a manual system. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3 were blowing within consistent like air, you know, jumps, but 4 was like a rocket. But even at 2, when the air would blow, it was just fairly direct, hitting you in the face, and it had like, it was loud. The air itself coming at you, you could hear it. So if you had it on 4, it was like you had to like, you couldn't even talk to your passenger. It was like you're getting hit with a freaking tornado. But this car, I don't know, something about it. First week in it, I just was telling my fiance, I was like, the air just kind of like wafts at you. Like I have it on 1, and it just kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of feels like you're getting fanned on by a freaking, you know what I mean? Like, it's nice. And another thing is you don't hear it. Even at like a high, you kind of hear it there, but it's not this loud. Like in the BMW, I'll show you guys, it's just this loud noise. Even at half, that was at full, by the way. Even at half, it's just screaming, you can hear it. And so I don't know if they did engineering behind that, or if they have sound deadening down there, or if the fans are just deeper into the tunnels and you really don't hear them spinning or moving, you just feel the air. The AC system on this car is so nice. I miss driving this thing. Man, I've been driving the Beamer for a week, and this thing is just different in its own way. And I love it. I still love it. That's number 5. Number 6. Not really 6, more like bonus content. 2 things I want to mention in this car. The visors. These were designed in a time where visors can be this big. I've gotten into so many different cars recently. These visors, I mean, look at this. You're driving, like you got this much to see out of. Like that's it. And if the sun's in my eyes, I want this thing covering it. It's just, they're just so big, and I like that. I don't know why. I get in cars nowadays and like, this is my standard. This is my standard right here. If cars aren't matching this standard, I can't have it. Like this is freaking, look at this. Look at the length here, this distance. Another plus. And lastly, the smell. Smell in this car. I don't put any conditioner shits. Like you guys, I don't have anything dangling here, like a bunch, like no, I don't have anything. I don't have anything in the vents. I don't really eat food in my car. I keep my car as clean as I can. Like I can literally vacuum the inside of my car once a month because there's just not that much. I don't have a lot of crap in here. And it just smells like leather, like nice leather. It has this Acura smell. I hadn't been driving this car for 5 days. It's been in the sun with my little visors. I get into it and it's got this distinct Acura smell. I can't explain it, or just leather smell. It's just so nice. And as long as you just maintain these, I mean, I condition these things every 3 months maybe. Smells so good. The BMW is notorious for this, what's called the crayon smell. That one has it. The first BMW I had it. It sucks ass. Some people like it. It's like reminding me I'm in a BMW. Come on, bro. Every girl that gets into my car, my fiance, my sister, friends, whatever, everybody mentions like, oh, it smells like crayons in here. It's not necessarily like a negative thing, but you don't want to be smelling like crayons. You know, you put your cologne on, you shower, you smell clean and fresh, and then you get in your car, and by the time you get out, you're smelling like crayons. Like, not having it. This car just has a good smell to it. Everybody's ever gotten into it. I don't like adding like synthetic stuff to it. Smells nice. So yeah, those 2. This car is great. Hope you guys like the video. Subscribe, stay tuned. I'm trying to come up with a video every single week. So yeah, I'm gonna get the ball rolling, guys. Like we got a lot of content to make with the Beamer. I want to do some driving with it, get some GoPros or some driving impressions between the 2, and yeah, go from there. So please subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers.
I have the hostages.
been so long since I drove this thing. Let's do like a little on-ramp pull, all right? It's just something to give you guys. Still goes, baby.